record as well in case we need this. So there's one of the questions that I haven't asked you to do because I don't want to go through one of the ones that you have spent time on. And to go, we're given this, we asked to deconstruct it. So how on earth do we do that? So we just look for something that might stick out. So to my mind, I go, well, maybe I could say that to start with, there's one on each end. There's one on each end. And in shape 6, it's the same. We've got one on each end. So we're always going to start with 1 plus 1 plus whatever else there is. In shape 6, we've also got 1 plus 1. We started with those two things on the outside. And let's just do that. Okay, so that's how, when I look at that shape, that's the first thing that sticks out to me. Maybe I'm seeing some sort of face in the ears or the antenna out there, whatever it is. That's what I'm seeing when I see that shape. And then I go, well, what else is there? Well, it looks like I can get these groups of 2. So in this case, there are 3 groups of 2. So I've got 3 groups of 2. Now let's see what it looks like in shape 6. And I'm really doing this on the fly. This is what's sticking out to me straight away. In this one, how many groups of 2 do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this one, I'm going those 2 little ears or antenna on the outside, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 6 groups of 2. So my deconstruction looks like it's going to work quite nicely if I'm looking at another shape and say, what do I think that shape 10 would look like? Well, from the way I've done it like this, I would start by going, let's put these 2 antenna on the outside. That's my 1 plus 1. Plus, well, according to this other deconstruction, I said, let's get that all on screen. Then I said that, well, I had 3 groups of 2, and in shape 6, I had 6 groups of 2. So I'd probably have 10 groups of 2. 1 group, 2 groups, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 groups of 2. And that is probably what shape 10 looks like. I mean, it fits in with our pattern. These 2, I'm going to keep calling them antenna because that's what I see now. There's 2 antenna on the side and then 10 groups of 2 in the middle. So that would be one way to deconstruct that shape. And then to do it for anyone, doesn't matter what shape you're on, you're always going to start with these 2 antennas. So you're always going to go 1 plus 1. Then how many groups of 2 do you have? Well, it depends what shape you're on. So if you're on shape 3, you've got 3 times 2. Shape 6, you've got 6 times 2. Shape 10, you've got 10 times 2. So if we're on what we call shape n, then we're going to go whatever number n is, n times 2. So for the shape 10, 1 plus 1, the 2 antenna plus 10 groups of 2. If we are in shape 3, 1 plus 1, the 2 antenna plus 3 groups of 2. And that is how we could deconstruct this in one way. Now, difficulty arises firstly in just how do you deconstruct that and see that. And each one of you is going to have a slightly different way of looking at it to start with. And then the second difficulty, which is probably even more difficult, is, so I've seen one way. How do I scrap that and go, let's see how else I could look at it? So let's actually just go to a brand new page and say, here's our shape. And what's another way we could look at it? Now I'm stuck in seeing these antennae on the side. Well, maybe let's stick with that kind of antenna idea. I'm going to say, what I see is this little triangle there you have. And I've got this triangle over there. And then I've got that group in the middle. So let's do it that way. That triangle is 3. That triangle is 3. So that would be how I started with. Then I need to add these groups of 2. So here's, let's see how it works with shape number 6. There's a triangle. There's that triangle. So this deconstruction seems to be working nicely. Here I've got 3 plus 3, I've got the 2 on the outside. And then I need to add however many there are in the middle. Now, for the 3, I've only got one group of 2. So I'm going to say I've got one group of 2. For shape 6, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 groups of 2. So let's now check it out. How would it work if I've got shape 10? How would I draw that if I want to show this? So let's say that we're doing it in this deconstruction. This way, I said that I've got this group of 3, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. That's 3. Plus, I said I've got another group of 3 on the right hand side. That's 3. And then I've got a whole lot of groups of 2s, a whole lot of pairs in the middle. Now, how many pairs do I have if in shape 3 I had 1 pair, and in shape 6 I had 4 pairs? So it looks like shape 3 I had 1, shape 6 I had 4. To my mind, I'm subtracting 2. So now I'm going to have 8 pairs in the middle here. Because it's shape 10, I'm going to have 8 of these groups of 2. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And with a bit of luck, that picture there should match exactly the same picture we drew before. We've still got the same number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will come out to be the same. That picture will look the same as this picture that we've drawn a second time. It's just that we've created it in a slightly different way. And so for shape n, we could say, well, for shape n, so for any shape, we're still going to start with our 2 triangles in the corners. So we're going to go 3 plus 3. And then we're going to go these groups of 2. But how many of these groups of 2 are we doing? We're not doing n of them, because that would mean that for shape 10 we're doing 10 of them. It looks like we're always doing 2 less than whatever the shape was. So when it was shape 3, we're doing 1 of them. When it was shape 6, we're doing 4 of them. When it's shape 10, we're doing 8 of them. Therefore, when it's shape n, we're doing n minus 2 of them, of these groups of 2. So there's our rule. 3 plus 3 plus, take your shape number, subtract 2, and multiply that by 2. And I'm just going to see, can I even think of another way of deconstructing this? Maybe what you see is, you see rows, and you've got, well, I'm not going to run through another one fully, but to go, instead of going for this outer edge, well, we've got, I don't want to do the 3 times 2, that now sticks, and this is the difficulty, as I said, to come up with these, it's quite hard to go, well, I've got a row of 3, and then I've got another row of 3 over there, and I seem to have these extra 2 over here. So maybe I've got a row of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of 6. I've got another row of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So in this one I had 3 plus 3. In fact, I had these 2 groups of 3. And in this one I had 6 plus 6. So it looks like it's just going to be the shape number. And then each time I just added these 2 on. So I went plus 2, plus 2. So if we did that deconstruction fully, we'd go, well, what would it look like for shape 10? Well, it looked like 3 plus 3, so I'd go 10 plus 10. I would draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'd go down a little bit and draw another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool, and then in each case we're just adding 2. So I'm just going to add these 2, there 2. Hey presto, that shape looks the same as the shape when we created it with that deconstruction, or this shape here. The shape comes out the same, it's the same number of dots or matchsticks, and we could do that and say, sorry, I got carried away, and I'm going to do it with n now. So for n, we could say, well, we just take n, because when it was shape 3 we had 3, shape 6 we had 6, shape 10 we said 10, so we're going to go n plus, that would be that row, plus another n, and then every time we just need to add 2. So that deconstruction leads to that rule. Doesn't matter, all these rules come out to be exactly the same. If you simplify them, we're not doing algebra yet, so we're not simplifying these and going, oh, well, that 2 distributive law, anything like that. This stage, just want to go, oh, there we go. That looks cool. That's our rule. That's our rule there. For our first one, that's our rule. Maybe this one we can see. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 n's. Well, that does look the same as this one. 2 n's plus 2. But we'll get to simplifying those things for the algebra later. For now, it's just... And as I said, it is quite difficult because you get quite stuck into one way of thinking. And that's, I think, kind of the purpose of this, is that we're trying to force ourselves out of a way of just thinking one way. So that's my quick, not so quick explanation. There you're all on the screen. Let's get me back up there. So any questions based on that explanation? Just start speaking if you have a question. Oh, I see lots of things on the chat window here. This is good. People are going to be late because they're still updating. Great stuff. And Bella said 8. I don't know what 8 means. Maybe it's a thumbs up.
8 for like. On.
8 for like? Okay, so they, as I said, it is a difficult exercise in a lot of ways, particularly because you can't just go along and go, well, I'm just trying to find the answer. I'm trying to find different ways of deconstructing and developing your logic, and I mean that's beautiful. I really think that applies to, people say, why do I need maths in life? Well, you're not going to deconstruct patterns in life, but you are going to look at logical arguments. And so, yeah,